Hey sluts! Happy Thursday. Welcome to another episode of Bunny and the Beast. I forgot what day it was. I forgot what day our episodes went out. You can tell the little pause right there. Thank you for tuning in again after being traumatized about our open relationships episode. Or maybe you're really invigorated and maybe you've started one now with your current partner. If you have, send us the details. It'll be like a romance novel for Bunny. She never gets off.
My God, I do love a trashy romance novel.
Do you?
Yeah.
Can you read?
Yes. Can't write, but as you can tell from most of the scripts that I've ever produced, I can't write. Hello, darlings. Bunny galore here. What's left of her? Yes, that was a very interesting, eye-opening chat last week about open relationships because I think we've just had a pretty ideal version. If you want a go-to guide of what to do, I think that's a really, really good plan, I think, to do that.
I think it just gave nice navigation on how do you approach the subject if it's something you're wanting to explore.
Yeah.
But this is the week before the most romantic day of the year.
Oh God, yes it is, isn't it? It's yes. So this is going out on Thursday.
Labor Day.
Halloween.
I don't know what is Labor Day. Any American listeners, can you tell us what Labor Day is?
Oh, when is Labor Day?
Because I know you just can't wear white after it.
I was going to Google that the other day, going, why can't you wear white after Labor Day? Is it? I don't know what that comes from. I really have no idea whether it's like
you can't wear white to another person's wedding.
Is it? No, well, I thought it was to do with like it's like the showing the white flag. I think it was something to do with the American Civil War or something like that. I don't know. I just thought it was some sort of. I don't know what it was. Do you want to Google?
No, I don't. Someone can tell us. Someone else. You know what? Someone else do the research, and you tell us.
Yeah. And there we go. Go and pause this and go and Google.
Google.
So I do a lot on TikTok now. I keep on like getting to videos and like fascinating things, and I go, I didn't know this murder case or that something about the pyramid. The pyramids. You know, like so they were obviously an outer shell of the pyramids, like sort of a that was polished, and. At the moment, they're one of the pyramids. They're building that outer shell again, and I thought, is this fake?
What?
Because I've never seen this, and I was like, this must be CGI'd, footage. No, they're actually doing it, and I was like, this is the craziest thing.
I kind of feel like that watching not TikToks, but I'm watching not nature programs,
YouTube or
natural like. If David Attenborough or like the Netflix show did with Morgan Freeman did like look on dinosaurs,
right?
And they go, oh yes, these two dinosaurs are doing the dance ritual of sex, and it's CGI dinosaurs. I'm like, how the fuck do you know that these two species, these two pile of bones, danced in this sort of format and performed that? How do you know?
They don't.
You don't. You're bullshitting to me.
No, the swing from 93 and Jurassic Park to now is, I think we've become more aware that the evolution into birds. So we always think dinosaurs being quite lizard looking like,
yes,
and now we think them quite colourful and feathers. It's quite weird to think of them with feathers, but I think they probably were. We just didn't realise that they had feathers, and I think they're basing it on what birds would do.
But what also, like, bones can be preserved, hence why we have the massive. That's a really long train. It's why we have the massive T-Rex in the Natural History Museums, because bones can be preserved. But what can't, I don't think can be preserved. Someone do correct me if I'm wrong. Like someone connected Bunny about having a bone in the penis. That bone never preserved because it didn't exist. No. What can't be preserved is fat and muscle. So how do they know that a dinosaur looks like that? But they have an idea from the skeleton. But what if it was like a massive fuck off chicken-looking thing?
Yeah. Well, I think they probably were like more like chickens than you realize. Have you seen chickens' feet? They're absolutely they're terrifying chickens.
Yeah.
They look like dinosaur claws. One of the first things I learned, actually, because I remember the hotel I used to work at when I was a teenager had chickens at the back, and I was like, Yeah, I hate chickens. Absolutely hate chickens because of that. It used to scare me. The feet. It's that weird thing. We must do an episode on phobias at some point.
Oh, chicken feet.
Chicken feet. Yeah, is
Don't go to China.
no. Ooh, no. For the chicken feet that they eat, I should say. So. Yes, dinosaurs. I think that's probably to do with bone, trying to just guess work from what mass of like skin would be in a normal thing. So you're kind of guessing what's on the dinosaur.
Yeah.
Or I thought it presumed it was the indentation around the bones that were kind of.
Oh, okay.
It was a difference in it would be turned into, some other color. So you'd see an outline around it. That's how I presumed they knew about the muscle mass of dinosaurs, but I'm not sure about mating rituals around the dinosaurs.
Literally,
this is like paw prints, step paw change, step paw change. Pas de bourrée,
triple time step and break.
Boom, we go.
That was completely off topic.
Well, we're talking about mating rituals.
Oh, actually, speaking of mating rituals,
yes,
Valentine's
Day. Which is utter bullshit.
Right? It's absolute bollocks.
I think I've very rarely been unless I've been in a very long-term relationship, like, 7, more than a year, obviously, or to be in a relationship during Valentine's Day, but usually when I'm in a relationship, the Valentine's Day is the least exciting. We don't do anything normally. It's kind of never something I do in a relationship. It's something you probably think about more when you're not in a relationship. And it's extreme. It's like that scene in Sex and the City, the movie with Miranda and Carrie, when they're just surrounded by 4,000 balloons and they're both single at that point, and then they have a big bust up as friends. But and it's like they said, is it me or is Valentine's Day this year on testosterone? No, we just played for the other team last year. Is the response that Carrie gives, and it's true. I think you just notice it more, and also because I have for me, Valentine's Day is, you should be doing that every day. You shouldn't just be doing it on a 14th of February to sell some cards and chocolates. But
yes.
On the flip side of that, obviously, it is quite fun. And also, the whole point of Valentine's originally was you tell a secret love that you like them.
Oh, really?
Not the person that knows you like them, which is your partner.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be when you send a card.
That sounds like dodgy territory these days.
Well, even saying that out loud suddenly sounds like
very Alan Rickman in Love Actually. With the secretary.
Yes, but she knew he.
Well, it sounds like two-timing to me.
Yeah,
sounds like slags.
No. I mean, as in, a single person tells another single person that they like them. Not. This shouldn't be in a relationship.
And some people go, "That's nice."
Yeah, but it's completely changed. I see in my lifetime, it's gone from being something you send to someone that smash.
Well, I think you knew Saint Valentine himself.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we used to work.
Was he a top or a bottom?
He was a bottom. We used to work together at the Drury Lane Theatre, selling oranges with Nell Gwynn. All this was trees. Back in those days, it's swamp, I think, in those days, Vauxhall. It still is, obviously.
Yeah. Just a swamp with different things in it.
Morally.
Yeah.
Thank goodness. So, yes, I don't really buy into the day, but I do love a good rom-com. So at this time of year, I think you can go either one of two ways. You can either embrace it, and it's like watching Christmas movies, isn't it? And you can watch a lovely romantic comedy, or my advice, if you're not feeling so good about it, is watch Aliens.
Or watch that episode of Friends where Monica, Phoebe, and Rachel do a pact.
Yes.
And they set fire to all their ex-boyfriends' belongings.
Yes.
And then they get dates with firemen who are married.
Exactly. If you want, I didn't realise that was a prediction of my future.
Oh, yeah.
Not the firemen so much, but that's actually quite scary. Have you ever done a love ritual or anything like that?
God, no. Sorry, burp.
Do you believe in any of that?
No, I don't think I do.
I don't. Well, I'm not sure.
I don't think lighting up some basil and flashing around the house is going to bring love into my life.
But you will pay for therapy.
Yes,
but you won't. But you won't do a ritual like that.
Yeah.
Why do you think that's different?
For me, that's a bit too. For me, it's a bit too hippy whippy doo-dah.
Too boo-boo, yeah.
But therapy is more it's more introspective.
See, to
on
me,
myself.
I think therapy is more in self-indulgent.
Do you think?
Yeah, because
you need it.
But I think a lot of that, what happened was things like having your cards read and your fortune told was before therapy.
Yeah, that's fair.
And now we just have therapy.
It's far more expensive.
But it's the same thing, but it's because we'll really, I mean, spoilers here, I'm not sure I believe anything this is real so much. But if you present somebody with a bit of a mirror to themselves, even if you give them a list of like going, this is talking about fortune telling more than it is spells here, but while we're on the subject, but if you give someone like, oh, you'll meet a tall, dark, handsome stranger, his name will be Kelvin and he will be very, jade, you can then go, well, I'm not going to meet that, but then why would I want to meet? And then you start self-analyzing yourself, and I think it just brings everything to the surface. In the days when people didn't talk about their emotions so much, or 100 years ago type of thing. So I think that's the difference. I think that's and now you're on the same self-discovery. It's just a lot more plain sight than it used to be.
Yeah,
I think is my theory anyway. But yeah, I find I would put love spells and Wiccan and witchcraft in the same compartment as therapy.
Oh no, absolutely no way. Not a chance.
I do. I think it's just it's
For me, well, we got our card. Did you get your cards read at Owen's birthday 2 years ago?
no.
There was, I can't remember who she was, and I was very drunk at the time. But she
Was she real? I was there, but I think I was I had a matinee that day, so I had to
maybe
run in and out type of thing.
Oh, potentially. But there was someone in his bedroom doing tarot readings, and I cannot remember for the life of me what it was.
Ooh.
But I literally left me like, what a load of old shit.
Yeah. No, I think it is.
It's
I do think.
oh, someone's reaching to me. So I'm getting a message. It's from someone who's passed, who's known someone who's passed everybody pretty much, and it becomes an A, B, C, D, E, J. It's a J.
That's what I think it is. I think they just tend to throw shrapnel at you, and then, but that's not
how you interpret it.
It's how you interpret it, and also what it makes you think about yourself, I think is, or maybe that's my interpretation of it nowadays. Having said that, I had my cards read, or a sort of a session with somebody a few years ago now, and it was strange because it's someone I knew through some friends, and we're on a protest march for the NHS at the time, which was before the pandemic. This is quite bizarre.
Yeah.
But she suddenly turned to me and went, "Do you?" I don't know how we got onto the subject, but I think because my Doug, my mother's partner, had just died. I think so this is probably about 2018. And someone talked about something, and she just went, "Do you believe in ghosts?" And I went, "No," because I've lost pretty much my entire family over the last 30 years.
Yeah.
And I was a bit like, I might have been a bit more open to like spirituality and sort of the other side before, but now I was a bit like, no, not really, because I think, if someone's going to come back, they would do by now. I'm not saying I want them to, by the way. That's not an invitation.
Just in case.
But then she told me this story that and I know whether it's true or not, but she certainly believed it, which was a romanticized sort of story, I guess. But she was saying she knew she could see things when she was a child, and going down to the beach with her friends. She was ahead on a bicycle and the friends were behind on bicycles. She got to the beach first and she saw this couple looking out to sea, and she was a bit like, went up to kind of, not really up to them, but, because you don't go up to strangers, but and said, "What are you looking at?" And she could hear this air raid siren going off, and they seemed to be like as if they were looking out to hear the air raid siren, and they kind of turned and just smiled, and very sweetly, very nicely, and then just carried on looking out to sea. She then kind of goes up, probably playing with shells or something like that, and suddenly the couple's still there, the siren stops, and the friends arrive, and and she says to her friends, "Did you hear the siren?" And they said, "No, we haven't." I said, "Well, that couple heard it, and the couple, of course, are gone." Now, it's one of those moments where you go, I know when someone's telling the truth because I can feel the hairs on the back of my neck go up on edge. So I know when someone's telling me those sort of stories that it's real. Now, whether it's really real, I don't know, but certainly real to them.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm having a session with you because that is like, but the session itself, which I did a few weeks later, I did feel like she was saying huge amount of shrapnel to me. And I went, did you not, because you can Google me. You can Google Bunny, or you can Google my name. I don't know. You can really
not that anyone does, but
they're probably just me, really. But as in, if you put James Colebrook into Google, you got a lot of
please don't. Too much comes up.
Yeah, exactly.
Too much stuff that no one needs to see.
Yeah. No clothes, but it's kind of whatever we've got out there. But it's generally our fairly public version of ourselves. I've given interviews, but I'm talking about the shows I'm in. I'm not really talking about my personal life or my family very much. I guess you don't either.
Yeah.
You've never said, on here we probably talk about it more now than not that anyone really cares, but it's no one's going to then write that up as something.
We're not in the Sun, we're not making headlines.
No, exactly. Fairly safe. Which is a good thing. Not have that scrutiny. As we know personally from friends, it's not very nice.
No, it's not.
So, however, you can't probably find certain things out about me. But so she was saying someone's passed. That's an older gentleman in a suit that's smiling. Which one? Oh, that sounds like Doug. You found a photograph I've probably put on Facebook or something. But then she went on to
but that's a stereotype.
Also
clutching at straws. Been like, okay, well, you're this X age, 23, plus some, and you might have known someone who's passed, and it might be a male figure, and men traditionally wear suits.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, oh yeah, sure, okay, fine,
sure, Dan.
But then she went, but there's 5 of them, and there is 5 of them, which is impossible to find out. Because one's not by marriage, one's like there's no way you'd find out who I've lost in my close family.
Yeah.
So I suddenly went, oh, so it's funny, isn't it? So sometimes they will say things where you just go, actually, that's quite real. But then sometimes you think, oh, that's just a lot of generalization. I think the small I've had, and the last time I had it done, probably about 20 years before in Brick Lane. Similar thing, you kind of lots of different stories, everyone will know your name and stuff like, you probably think I'm in the industry and I think I want to hear that, but then that one before went like really cold swang around. You've got 2 people in your life, and I was seeing 2 people at the time casually, and one's British and one's American and British. He was Canadian and British, and that was a bit like, and neither of them are the right people for you. Well, it's just a bit homophobic, I don't know, but
I just have a nice, good Christian girl.
That is something that would be impossible to know.
That would in
2002.
That would be
been like pretty impossible to find out. So I was a bit. I mean, it might have just been luck. Obviously, it might have just been.
She might be clutching at straws,
but it's oddly Pacific, isn't it? You go like, okay, that's especially the. One's British, one's half British, and half American, wherever she said it was from. Weird, isn't it? So sometimes, but even after all that, I do think that is a kind of a replacement for therapy once upon a time.
It reminds me of the episode of Will and Grace where Will goes sees a seer, and she basically in the first reading is like, and there's a beautiful woman that you'll spend the rest of your life with, and he's like, okay, money back, I'm gay. But then the way things that she says, I can't remember the quotes fully. For once, I actually can't remember quotes. Bloody hell. Great, useless now.
I haven't watched that in a long time, that episode.
But then she goes back and it's like, you're going to be with I see a J, and they're the love of your life, you'll be them forever. Nothing more than J. Just Jay. And it's like, crap, I'm just supposed to be with Jack for the rest of my life.
Well, he kind of is the love of his life, isn't he? But in a platonic way. Though I'm just doing a rewatch of Will and Grace. I think I've said this before, that because of they're doing a Jack and Will podcast per episode. But then I've caught up with the episodes of mid-season 2 now, and I was a bit like, but I want to carry on watching the episodes. So I have now. I've just kind of carried on away. I'll go back and
rewatch for that,
because they describe the episodes quite a lot in each.
They do. They're really descriptive on it.
So it's fine. I can, I feel like you don't really miss out. I can carry on watching the episodes. I've forgotten how much I missed the show. I've not seen it for a while since.
No, even the reboot.
I love the reboot, but that again, some people hated that, and I'm a bit like, everyone's attacking Deborah Messing at the moment, isn't it? Because of the being in Israel and things.
Is she in Israel?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, again, thank you, TikTok.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. She's moved back there. Or moved there. Not moved back, sorry. She probably didn't come from there. But she's moved to Israel. As a lot of people are, weirdly. Yeah. Strange. Anyway.
Massive tangent. Listeners, do you believe in love potions and Wiccan and all that stuff and psychics? Or are you going to be pro-psychic or pro-therapy? That's what I want you to let us know. Are you pro-psychic or pro-therapy? Because I'm pro-therapy. I feel like you're pro-psychic.
I think I treat both with disdain.
I dislike both equally.
I think both, not disdain, but I treat both in my head as like they're both as effective as each other. They're there to kind of self-cure yourself. If you feel like you need, I was going to say, if you're weak.
There's nothing weak about going to therapy. There's nothing weak about admitting you might need help. You bitter old cunt.
Of course not. It's totally sane to be able to do that. Not indulgent at all.
Let me just talk about me for the next hour.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's true. I think it's all there to. Most times, I can fix myself with a cup of tea and an episode of I Being Served. It does get harder, By the way, it doesn't get better. It really doesn't. The problems you think you have in your 20s are absolute bullshit compared to what happens later on. So, oh my God, he hasn't texted me back. No. It gets a lot worse. So I think, but no, of course it is better. It's better to talk about things. It's better to let it, and I think it's easier to say things to a stranger.
Oh yeah,
which is why I think the tarot card reading comes into hand. That if you say things out loud, that it's kind of it makes you realise what's wrong. So you should say that out loud. It takes the power away.
It's so easy to say something to a stranger. To this day, if I have to express a emotion to somebody, whether that be positive or actually mainly negative emotion about something, the way that I feel in regards to them, it terrifies me. It's so hard, but it's also because I've been in a relationship in the past where when I did express that, I was cut off and ignored, and it was
right.
I've got a lot of PTSD with it. Going, you did something that
so if you try to discuss that with a partner, about them or about yourself, you mean?
It's a bit about myself. It's a bit about both, really. Actually, I think it's a bit like the actions you did were this, and they made me feel this.
Right.
And most of the time I'm like, if you don't address it, it goes away and it kind of goes, that's my old stance. But when I've spoken to partners in the past going, you did this and actually really upset me.
Right.
And then I've just been cut off and just go, well, I'm sorry you feel a certain type of way. And it's like, no, you're not even listening to why I'm upset. You're not listening to why I feel like this, because it's almost putting a mirror back up to them. But I've just kind of learned in my life, just like, if it's bad, just don't address it, which I'm really relearning. I'm really relearning this and going and trying to be really open and say to my partner, go, this, etc. When it happens, it doesn't happen a lot. Just going, it made me feel like this.
Yeah.
But I feel listened to now, which is different.
Oh my God, I've just realised I'm your therapist. I was about to...
Oh my God, I don't even pay you. This is winning. This is brilliant.
Exactly. because I was about to say, I think a lot of your, oh God, this is very deep to say this, but I think that the root of that comes from you probably didn't. This is a generalization about most gay kids, by the way. It's not all about you. So
Fuck's sake. I don't care then.
but it does play into. In other words, I say that to make you feel like you're not the only one.
Yeah, and you never are the only one.
But also, I'm a drag queen. You're an influencer, so it's all about us.
Not really, but not really.
I was trying to scramble for a job title. But it is, we are artists that, self-producing artists, so therefore we, it's all about us.
Yes.
It comes from not feeling like you were being seen or heard growing up, and feeling a bit invisible growing up, because as gay kids we tend to have to suppress stuff. Even you're one, if not two generations after me. I don't know what the term for generations are time-wise.
Well, you're a boomer?
No, Gen X.
Oh, I'm the next one over.
Yeah.
I'm the next one.
Yes, that's true. Yes, probably not near the edges of both.
We're on the cusp of both.
No, I'm the warrior, sort of the look after yourself generation.
Yeah.
Apparently, I don't really feel like that particularly because I'm an only child, but it was that generation. When I look back now, I go, God, bloody hell, yes, we were. I think that's why probably millennials are a little bit sort of coddled, because we were like, right, we shouldn't be leaving children by themselves. So yeah, I think it's just feeling invisible, and that's where it comes from. So it's important to say things, but the best cure for it is to say it out loud. If you seriously, if anyone's listening to this, and I know it can get in your head about a lot of things, just say it out loud to somebody or write it down. If it's late at night, make a list.
Oh, yes. Journaling is so good. Whatever you're going through in your head,
that's a nice way of putting it.
Just write everything, everything down. Spend like 15, 20 minutes listening to a song artist that you like. I personally, for journaling, I like Billie Holiday. I love Billie Holiday.
Oh, that's a lovely idea.
It's very nice and chill, bluesy, jazzy. It's very relaxing.
I've suddenly got into jazz again lately.
Yeah.
Like jazz with...
jazz dance.
Just, as in listening to go to sleep, I listen to jazz, but with like maybe rain.
Oh.
Because it's kind of... It mellows me down, weirdly. I've just discovered that in the last week, funny enough.
I find it so chilling, and just writing... anything that pops into your head, any sort of thought. So that can literally be like, I don't know what to write. This seems bullshit. Bunny's old, etc., etc.
Second joke about being old. Take your next shot.
I'm so thankful for Bunny in my life. Blah, 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 blah. Whatever.
Pull the whole bottle in.
But after 5-10 minutes, you start to really get a proper stream of consciousness, and just being like, oh, that's a random thought. That's a random thought. Oh, deflect, distract. This is what I'm feeling, which is really interesting.
Well, talking distraction, I mean, like talking about, I do feel I've used film and TV as a distraction a lot in my life. I term it, because I'm doing research. I'm in this industry. Actually, watching Desperate Housewives for the 8th time, or Veronica Mars, or Buffy the Vampire Slayer is probably a distraction, isn't it? It's probably a repetitive distraction.
Potentially, and it's also knowing the outcome. Knowing the outcome, like... I don't like starting new shows because, one, it depends how long the episodes are.
It's also quite a focused commitment as well, isn't it? I'm trying to do Outlander at the moment. It's taking me literally about 2 years.
Oh God,
it's a really amazing show, but it's quite slow moving.
Yeah,
and it's like, oh God, and it's quite harrowing.
Oh,
I think that's why. But I think it's something to do with autism. Apparently, that people will watch same shows again and again and again, and that was like ding.
Maybe not autism, but something on. Well, we're on the spectrum to an extent.
Yeah, apparently. I can't remember what I read or heard about it, but I went, I feel very seen.
I'm triggered just because I like watching Buffy, and I know that she saves the day every single time, and I know that this happens. I know Joyce dies in this episode, etc., etc.
Oh gosh! You know what? I saw a image, or probably again on TikTok or Twitter, had come up about the episode "The Body," and I suddenly went.
It was in one take.
I had to flip and go like, I can't watch it, because I think my stepfather just died a few weeks beforehand.
Oh gosh!
This is. Again, people I've lost in my life, but The Body is, but 10 years before that, I'd found the body of my father. So that
Oh my God. Oh no.
Her thing was basically, and I think my mother rang me as I was watching the episode, and I was like, absolute distraught. She said, "What's wrong?" I went, and tried to explain. They've just
Joy
taken
Summer's dead.
They've just taken my life and filmed it on my favorite TV show. It's like that's literally
God.
a word for word reenactment of what happened, and it's
Fuck's sake.
Yeah, it was quite. Yes, it was fun. It was super fun. That was watching a reenactment. But it's very real. If you want to, know what it's like, it's exactly like that.
And it's all done in one take, one camera shot. We've gone through a few tangents here. You did want to talk about Valentine's Day today, but hopefully lots of tools about how you struggle, how you talk to people. That'd be really helpful.
Yeah. Or watch The Holiday.
Yes, exactly. Watch The Holiday. Watch Clueless. Have a great time.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're going to be an animate object in the Beast Castle today, what would you be and why?
I know I'm going to be a therapist's couch. So you can lie on me.
And I'll just be the patient. There we go. Tune in next week for another episode of Bunny and the Beast.